Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspirational Wisdom. You got the D-Man here, and today I'm going to talk about the 9 iron rules of Tomassis, rule of Tomassis. And number 1 is frame is everything. Always be aware of the subconscious balance of whose frame in which you are operating. Always control the frame, but resist giving the impression that you are. To control the frame without giving the impression that you are means that you have to subtly indicate what you want to do, where you want things to go, without directly saying that you are. You have to use covert communication. I mean, you could look at it like this. Let's say you wanted to control the frame. You said, look, we're going to do this, this, and this. No, come over here. I want you to do this. That doesn't work. You have to do it in a way where she's following you of her own volition. Not so much that she feels like you are telling her or micromanaging or telling her exactly what to do and when to do it. You have to lead her in a covert way to get her into your frame. And actually, when you do that, she will follow and not even realize she's following. She may put up a little resistance, but you can diffuse that by subtly talking about something else, leading the conversation in another direction while you do what you wanted to do. People want to be led, and a woman especially wants to be led. She may say she wants to be equal, but she only wants to feel equal with everyone except the man she's with. I don't care what she says. She wants to know that the man she's with is stronger physically and emotionally than she is. And if you're not, she'll be looking for the alpha male who is. She may keep you around to support her and provide for her, but she's always going to be thinking about the stronger man. And she may have sex with you, but it's obligatory sex. Do you really want obligatory sex or transactional sex? I know I don't. I've had it. I know how it is. And I've had the desire sex where she couldn't keep her hands off me. So one, I feel empty when I'm done. The other one, I feel pretty damn fulfilled. And you can guess which one makes me feel whichever way. So I'm not very good at explaining how to control the frame. Although I would recommend you watch a video that the man that does modern life dating, I think his name is John, he interviewed this girl, this pageant winner, just today as a matter of fact. And you can watch how he controls the frame where she was actually, the setup was she was interviewing him, okay? But I came in the middle of it and it looked like he was interviewing her. So he actually turned things around in a subtle way, but the way he spoke to her, where it looked like where actually he was interviewing her more than she was interviewing him. So I would recommend that you watch it. It was a live stream, but it's on YouTube. It's recorded. Modern life dating, I think it is, or modern dating life. I get that confused. His name is John. He's many times on that Rule Zero show where Rollo Tomassi is. I can't think of her. Ryan Stone. Gosh, there's another guy. I said his name earlier and I forgot. But anyway, so that's about controlling frame. Like I said, I understand it. I'm not very good at explaining it. Those guys probably would explain it much better than me. Okay, now the second rule is never, under the pain of death, honestly or dishonestly reveal the number of women you've slept with or explain any detail of your sexual experiences with them to a current lover. That's something I've never did. I've never even thought about it because I don't know if any girls ever asked me that or not. But here's the deal. If you do that, one of the downfalls, at least that I know of, is she's going to be thinking, this guy's going to be telling the next girl about me and about what we did. And you certainly don't want them thinking that. It just sets the stage for a whole bunch of things like in the future, she'll bring that shit up. She'll be jealous of your past girlfriends. Actually, I was married. I've been married 4 times. A long time ago, I've been married for 9 years. But one of my ex-wives was jealous and she was young too, okay? So she was jealous of a girl that I was married to the first time, who we were married and divorced before this wife that was jealous of me was ever born. But she was jealous of that, and it got brought up. So it's better not to even talk about anything like that. She just knew I was married to her. I never revealed to her any of our sexual experiences, but definitely not a good idea. How many you've been with, your notch count, any of that stuff. Like if she asks you, well, how many girls have you been with? Well, one more now that I'm with you. Just make a joke out of it, laugh about it. Does it really matter? None of them were as important as you are. You're more special than all of them, or whatever. Say something and just laugh at her and joke it off. Never answer her question directly. That's a big mistake, okay? Rule number 3. Any woman who makes you wait for sex, and I've had some make me wait for sex, and this is true, or by her actions implies she is making you wait for sex, the sex is never worth the wait. And I will swear to that. I've experienced that. I've actually experienced that in the last couple of years. If she's making you wait for sex, then what that means is she doesn't really have that big of a desire for you. She is not so into you that she can't keep her hands off you, that she wants you. I give an example. I flew out of the country to meet this girl I was going out with, okay? I got stuck in the goddamn airport. The flight got delayed 3 times, then it got canceled, and jeez. And they were going to reschedule it the next day. I was only going there for the weekend. Finally, I find this renegade cheap-ass flight, it leaves at 11 o'clock, gets me down there to South America at, 11 o'clock at night. Well, she had been partying all, I left, 1 o'clock in the morning sometime. Well, she had been partying all day. So when I get there, I don't know how many hours I spent in the airport. I got up at 2:30 in the morning. I ended up getting down there at 2:30 at night or something, maybe 24 hours it probably took me to get there. All right. So when I get there, she's in the hotel room and she's sleeping. She hadn't been there too long. And she wakes up and says hi to me. And it's like, I kind of was holding her. And she's like, not wanting to be with me. It's like, what the hell? And that wasn't the first time. See, she wanted me to wait. It's like, Jesus Christ, I've been waiting. I haven't seen you for a month. Of course I want to be with you. Anyway, it pissed me off. I don't know if I was with her or not that night, but even after that, so I was with her. Now, was she being with me because she wanted to or because she felt obligated? I would say it's the latter. The sex is never good. It never is. That's why after I would be with her, I would think, man, I just won't go back. It's empty. It's bullshit. But I made mistakes that brought it to that point. You can't blame the girl. What has happened is you have acted weak, or you've been needy, or something like that, to where she's gotten to the point where she's not physically attracted to you as much. So that's something the person brings on themselves. And if you want to blame the woman, guess what? You're going to end up in the same thing down the road. Because you got to look inside yourself and say, what mistakes have I made that has brought us to this point where she's not all over me like she used to be? Okay, in my case, I was too giving, I was too nice. Big mistake. But I learned from my mistakes, okay? So, rule number 4. Let me run this up here. Iron rule number 4. Never, under any circumstance, live with a woman you aren't married to or are not planning to marry within 6 months. Now that one I really don't understand. I've heard him explain it, but I have forgotten. I think his premise is, or at least one of the things I've heard people talk about is, let's say you get an apartment together. Okay, you're going out with this girl, you're not living together, but you get an apartment together and you both sign the lease. Okay, you sign a year's lease. As soon as you sign that lease, she knows you are committed to staying with her for another year. That gives her the security that we think she wants, right? We think she wants this security. That's what everybody tells us. Give a woman security, provide for her, and she'll love you. She'll reciprocate with sex and desire, and she'll be yours, okay? The problem is, what happens is, she knows she has you for a year, or at least she thinks she does. So her competition anxiety, she has no fear of ever losing you. All of a sudden, She doesn't have to have sex with you. She doesn't have the desire for you because she doesn't feel that you're going anywhere. I know that sounds like a game, but that's just the way it is. I mean, they can look at us and say, "Oh, you just like us when we're good in good shape, and we're not. If we get fat, you don't want to be with us. You just like us for our looks. Can't you love me for who I am?" Well, I'm gonna tell you what. A girl is not gonna love you for who you are. She's gonna love you for what you can provide for her, what you can do, which sounds like a contrasting to what I just told you, because you said, "Well, I was providing for her. Wouldn't you want to be with me?" No, it doesn't work that way. She is attracted to you opportunistically. You know, you're attracted to her for her beauty. If she gets fat, you're not going to be as attracted to her. You're not going to want her as much. You may still stay with her. You may still love her, but you're not going to have that desire for her. In the same way, when she locks you down and she knows that you're with her and she is your only option, her desire for you drops. You know, you don't have to know why. That's just the way it is. Her desire will drop for you when she knows she's got you locked down. Now, if she knows there's other girls out there vying for your attention, or the girls that would be with you or sleep with you, then that's going to help. But otherwise, she thinks she's got you locked down. You sign the paper. Actually, I have a friend, a younger man, that bought a house with his girlfriend, and as soon as they moved in, everything started going to hell. They weren't married. And she started running around on him, and it turned into a big mess. She left him with the house, and you know, perfect example of what the number 4 talks about. He's stuck with the house. He can't pay for it. He had to get like 3 or 4 guys to move in with him to help him pay the rent, and she's gone. So there you go. Rule number 5: never allow a woman to be in control of the birth. Now that's something I never understood that until I listened to Rollo talk about that. Because really, women have all these options for contraceptive, and we have what? A condom and a vasectomy. Okay, so they may tell you they're on the pill or they're taking contraception, but the bottom line is you got to trust them. And there's all kinds of stories of women getting pregnant. I'm going to tell you what, I had 3 women. I don't know if I wasn't married to all 3 of them. 2 of them I was married to, 1 of them I wasn't. I had kids with them. Each one of those girls got pregnant right when I was breaking up with them because they knew I was stable, I was steady, I was a provider, I was a strong, independent man, and they knew that if they got pregnant by me, that would keep a hold of me, even though they were wanting to run around with another man. And the one, we were trying to have a kid, but we couldn't. She said, I thought she couldn't have a kid. I guess she was taking the pill, and then we got broke up, and she comes up pregnant. Of course, I knew it wasn't mine, right? No. Had a test, it was. The other one, same thing, but she came up to me, God, I don't know, 20 years later and told me it was my kid. Okay? Fortunately, I got out of that one without child support. And the other one was the last woman I was married to. We had already had 5 kids, all right? And she was getting to where she wasn't having sex with me. I think she was running around on me. And we split up. I got tired of the shit. I walked away. And then she comes up and, oh, I'm pregnant. It's your kid. Well, of course, I didn't believe it. But once again, I had a test, and it was my kid. I mean, all the kids are with me now. She's been gone for 9 years. We haven't seen her. So, but the point is, who's controlling the birth there? So sure as hell wasn't me. Unless you wear a condom, which I don't like wearing a condom. But after I listened to Rollo talk about that, I'm going to start using a condom. I mean, I have 8 kids, so obviously I don't use birth control. But now, because I listen to that, I'm going to use it. I don't like it, but I'm going to use it. So yeah, they were in control of the birth. And you know what they got? Usually, I was very fortunate, so it didn't happen to me. I'm not paying child support to any woman. Okay, but I very well could have had to pay child support for that first daughter I had for 20-some years. Okay, and then the second one, she's of age now, but I would have been paying for her, the second daughter. And this last child, he's only 11 now. I would have been paying child support for that. But that worked out to where I have all 6 of the kids and I don't have to do that. I was very fortunate. And here's the deal about the laws here in the U.S. Child support, and I've been through the courts, custody, I've paid child support before, and it's a nightmare, okay? Here's the deal. They set a certain amount. I'm self-employed, so that'd help me. But they set the amount. And if you start making more, she can always take you back for more and more and more. And even though you're paying your child support, if you show up over there on your weekend to pick up the kids and she doesn't want you to see the kids, she just doesn't have to answer the door, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can go back to court, and you know what the judge is going to tell you? Well, you have an order. The order's right there. The order, your divorce decree. The police will not enforce that. But I'll guarantee you, if you don't pay your child support, you will go to jail. I know guys that have had to spend time in jail because they didn't pay child support. So that's the way the system works. When you marry a woman or when you have a kid with a woman, she has all the power, you have no control. You have all the responsibility and she has all the control. So you got to be very careful about getting someone pregnant or taking the chance on getting someone pregnant. Also, I think I heard Rollo talk about birth fraud, where some of these women, they actually have a site where they can get pregnancy tests that other women have used and try to use that to coerce the man or whoever to get to marry them or to get something out of them, even though they're not pregnant. So you have to be very careful, especially if you're a man of means or even if women look at you as someone who is successful or someone they want to get a hold of, because they do this for security of themselves. Because if they can get a hold, if they can have a kid with you, then they got contact. They have a grasp on you and your finances for the next 20 years. So that's something to really take into consideration the next time you're having sex with a girl. So that's as far as I'm going to go with this, but I hope this has been of value to you, and if it has, hit the like and subscribe button. You can go to my website if you want to know a little more about me, and I appreciate you joining me today. Check out that Rule Zero and those other guys, Rich Cooper, Modern Life Dating, Rollo Tomassis, Ryan Stone, and there's another guy too, and maybe his name is Rich. I'm not sure, but he's really good too. So check those guys out if you're having trouble in your dating, your relationships with women, especially American women. If you can travel out of the country, I have not dated in the country for years, okay? There's a lot of beautiful women in other countries who will appreciate you. They're still feminine, as in here, well, you know how it is if you live here in the U.S. So I'm sure there's some nice girls here. They're just few and far between. But hey, thanks a lot. Glad you're here. See you next time.